Hey YouTube, Electric Adventures here with a rather large pair of packages in the mail, and the care of a fellow YouTuber, and completely out of the generosity of his heart, he contacted me and said he had a couple of items he would like to send me. They are truly enormous and large, and this is extremely generous. I know what is in the packages, which makes it even more amazing how generous this is. Plus also they're only sent from the UK to Tasmania in Australia 7 days ago, and they arrived today, which is amazing itself. Now I've got this one flipped up because I had to remove one side, because obviously at some stage these were going to be shipped to somebody else, but maybe the deal fell through or something like that. So I had to remove a double layer of addresses just to make sure. Let's do a live opening of these packages, and then we shall do a demonstration of their contents. Now, sorry if there is a little bit of a fan noise in the background, but it's actually rather cold here at the moment. So first thing first, we've got to get through the this first item will become plainly obvious. I'm over here now. Now, some of you may already recognise some of this writing. For those of you familiar with the MSX breed of machines. Switch hands with the camera. Let's see what my left hand camera works like. Okay. So, in their original boxes, now he said they weren't in the best condition. They're in pretty good condition from my book. Sorry about this. We might even be able to. Not going to cooperate. Murphy's Law. Just while I get the wrapping off. Okay, sorry about that. I've been thrown about a bit. So it is a Yamaha music keyboard, clavier musical YK10. And you may be thinking, oh, that doesn't seem very computer orientated. Well, it is in a way. It's actually the computer keyboard, or the music keyboard that hooks directly up to an MSX machine. Yeah, it's in a very familiar connector there. So it's in very good nick, and as you can see, it's a full size, to give you an idea, full size musical keyboard with proper keys on the keyboard. And we also have, and these themselves go for a fair bit of money. Also shows the generosity. This is the FM Music Composer FM module cartridge, and this one here is the FM voicing program cartridge. in boxes as well. So you have the manual and the cartridge. And the manual and the cartridge. And to go with all of this, a matching item, which was also this particular system was one of the other ones that was sold. So I just need to divert the camera. I found another address. Was sold in Australia. So the original brands of MSX machines sold in Australia with a Sony hit bit. The Spectra Video, well, obviously after the original Spectra Videos, they went and brought out the Spectra Video 728 and the Yamaha with the CX5. Lots of wrapping. So here we are. Here we have the Yamaha music computer CX5M. So this was sold in Australia at the very least in music stores. Considering how old this is still in very good condition. So in here we have the original owner's manual. Oh, there's another book in here as well. Yamaha MSX Basic Reference Manual. Now I've seen one of these before in a store, but I've never, seen the box that it's come in. We have the polystyrene and the plastic. And they're actually a very good MSX unit. Although the very first unit that came out, I believe, only had 32k RAM. Oops, I've just got a little cover that's come off there. We'll figure out where that goes in a minute. Ah, there we go. One of the function keys just came off. It's actually got quite a nice keyboard. This is a really clean unit. So you have the MSX cartridge slot there. A really nice keyboard. It's got a nice feel to it. The key come off there. Now around the side we have left and right audio. So for a start, it's got stereo, MIDI in and out, and the specific connector for the music keyboard. As you saw the keyboard before, we've got a slide toggle on-off switch. An interesting bay down there. So this whole module looks like it can come out and be changed. Round the back we have that's probably the power in, I reckon, from a power brick. We have RF monitor, single channel sound to find out what the I reckon the that stereo outputs because of the special module. You've got an MSX cassette port, same pinout as a TRS-80 cassette port, the mini Centronics port, and we have a rear slot as well. Which my fumbly fingers. Right, we have an edge connector, expansion connector on the back. So a very nice looking clean machine. I won't know exactly what's in the model. Now we have another box inside the box. Let's put it down for a sec. Okay, we have an absolute monster power brick with an on-off switch there, in there, and I'll have a UK plug. I have a plug converter for UK plug, but all I have to do is take this end off and put an Australian plug on, and we're fine because we're the same voltages. And obviously needs to go fairly near the computer. Big power brick, actually doesn't weigh anything, it's really light. And there was a set of audio cables as well. So I am completely blown away from this. So the YouTuber is called BIGZARG. I'll no doubt say his name quite a few more times whilst I get this set up and have a play. But we'll get this set up. I don't, for any stretch of the imagination, think my music skills are going to be up to the immediate challenge. But it'll be most interesting to give this a good play and see what sort of thing can be done with it. I mean, I was actually considering buying one of these, like, only in the last couple of weeks, because one popped up on a local Australian eBay, to assist with music production for my games. So I'm just completely blown away that somebody has actually sent me one of these. Alright, well, let's get it set up so we can have a play with it. Right, here we go. We've got the Yamaha plugged in. It boots into what looks like MSX Basic normal. So this is the machine without any cartridges plugged in. But what you can do, it actually has a ROM inside the FM module. So the FM module has 8 possible voices, and the keyboard has 4 zones or voices that you can split it into as well. So in it, it's actually got controls so that it can become a music keyboard. So I've got the sound hooked up to the stereo output that's in the FN module, and the keyboard is plugged into the keyboard port at the side. Now you have the keyboard is divided up into sections. So we have poly, or the I'm not 100% sure what poly stands for, but that's currently set to brass, and the mono section is brass as well. So if we change the instrument to say trumpet, and that's still brass up there. Let's try something a little bit more electronic piano. And so that's still brass up there. And you can go to the particular section and change the voice on that section at once. So you can have your 2 hands playing different sections of the organ, like so. You can also set up a background rhythm. Now currently we're on 16-beat. We go down now and you need to set so that's the chord, the bass and chord together. So currently they're set to brass and brass as well, and then repeat, and then you can have all 3. So we'll put it on that, and we'll press start on. As soon as we touch a key, it'll start. So there's the 16-beat. And what I can do, I can set it so that this bottom left-hand section of the keyboard, so you can't really see what I'm pressing, but anyway. Because I've got the poly on guitar as well, you can see the rhythm changes down as we go down through different chords. And we of course can change what we have. Slow rock, waltz, jazz rock, and disco, swing, back to 16-beat. We could also change the tempo, obviously 112 at the moment. no, I'm not going to try and attempt to play anything at this moment in time. So you basically have a full electronic organ. Another thing is you can actually play and record what you're playing and then save that out to cassette, or if I put my Mega Flash ROM in there, it'd give it a disk drive as well. Now it's got one cartridge slot on the top and it's got an expansion port in the back, so you need there's actually an adapter to allow you to plug a cartridge in the back. I've actually got a Spectre Video one which works as well. I remember from back in the day. I haven't tried it yet, but I'll try it again later. Alright, so yes, as I said, I'm not really the best and I need to relearn a little bit of music. I have two of my daughters are really enthusiastic about it. It was actually great fun watching the 7-year-old play with it, and the 13-year-old has gone to see her music teacher, and the music teacher is going to teach her how to play the piano and be able to use this. Also, she sings as well, and she wants to be able to, she's been playing the saxophone, but she wants to be able to play a music instrument that you can play while you sing, so piano and also potentially guitar later on as well. So it's even great just having it for that. And I myself, we had an organ, electronic organ in the family back in the day, and I did learn how to play it. But I haven't played it for such a long time that it's all gone to the back of my brain. So I'm going to get some of the Learn to Play books and learn a bit about that, and that might help me constructing some music for my games that I'm working on. So it really is good having this sort of stuff, because we don't have a piano or electronic organ in this home, and I actually now feel bad that my older two girls didn't have anything like that to play on, so at least I can make up for it with my younger two girls. So let's try one of the other cartridges. This is the Music Composer cartridge. And once again, I'm not going to be able to do much because I really have forgotten a lot. So you get the MSX logo when you boot up, and you get a music score there. Now, we're in command mode at the moment, and sorry, I need to look up a page in the book. I should have had it open to the page. I can sort of remember it because we've done it a couple of times. Now, what you can do, you can have you can divide the music up into parts, and all those parts will play simultaneously. So this is an actual score in here. I'm not going to input the whole thing because I need to have a bit more practice. So we're in command mode. That's what the question mark down the bottom is. So that sets the key, which appears on the music scale there for people who know what they're doing, and then you set the timing. So 6/4, and that will appear on the scale as well. And then you can start entering notes. Now in this particular one, it has a couple of rests, so it has a whole rest. Oh, how about I put it in note mode first? A whole rest followed by a quarter rest. As you can see, they've got different symbols for that. Now, entering the notes, you can actually turn the keyboard on and play some notes as well. I haven't actually played with that bit yet. But we'll just put in a couple of notes, and we'll be able to at least make a little bit of sound. So the first note, so what you do, you see we've got the note selection bar down there. It's actually got, and it's got a cursor. I suppose we could use the arrow keys to go back and forth as well. And I haven't worked out what these, what key corresponds to what pitch, but this is the one they wanted entered. So it says the pitch is D, so the B key is pressed. And so we now have a D quarter note. Next note is a B dotted half note, so we press the 2 key to get the half note, followed by the 8 key, not sure what the 8 key done, and then a slash which corresponds to a B. So they must run along the bottom of the keyboard, I reckon. So there's probably a guide somewhere else in the book. And the next note is exactly the same, so we just press the last key again. I suppose you put yourself into a note mode and then you can press as many of that note as you want. Next note has a tie, so we press Y to start a tie. You can see the things highlighting down the bottom, followed by the same note. So we've done a tie, and then we cancel it by pressing Y again. So we have a little bit of a score in there now. So we can go back to command mode and press F5. That gives us play, and it'll play in a second. Remember, there was that rest at the start. So that's the part one of a 3-part scale. So there's that's the music I was working on. So that top part one is what we've entered, which is like the background chords, and allows you to compose music. So you can, but you do need to know your musical scoring things, which once again did used to know, but need to relearn. And that's probably one of the more useful ones. The other cartridge allows you to make your own voices. So in other words, obviously all of the sounds we're using before, keyboard, electronic piano, keyboard, guitar and everything like that, they're voices. So that the second cartridge allows you to actually make your own voices by changing shapes and sounds, and then you can save those and load those in and play them on the keyboard. There were 2 more cartridges produced. I'm not sure what the third one is, but the fourth one allows you to actually program music from BASIC. So it adds on commands onto BASIC to allow you to program all 8 channels and work with voices and things like that. There already is quite a good play command built into BASIC, but it must extend on that as well. So I'm not sure what cartridge number 3 is. Maybe I'll put a little note down below in the video. So a little bit on the history on this machine. Now this machine was released right at the beginning of MSX. Yamaha supported the MSX standard right from the start, the sound chip, basically the development of the sound chip, and even the actual TI graphics chip was taken over by Yamaha in their chip foundry and design section afterwards. So they ended up producing the newer versions for MSX2 and MSX2 Plus of the video processor, and also putting together the one chip, the single master chip that makes up the later MSX machines, to allow it to cut down the number of chips that are required in a machine. It is an interesting exercise looking at the original Spectra video, which is obviously the prototype for the MSX, and seeing how many chips are on the board, and then going to something like a 728, which was their very first MSX model, and some of these early MSX models, and then opening up a later one and seeing how much the chip count came down, because obviously reducing the chip count allowed them to reduce cost. But Yamaha is a very key player in the MSX standard, and because of the fact that it was sold through music stores outside of Japan, are probably the most successful MSX seller around the rest of the world. But the machines were not sold to play games, they were sold to produce music, so they ended up in a lot of music production houses and small studios around the world, and weren't really replaced until MIDI interfaces became available for both the Macintosh and of course the Atari ST came out, because Yamaha was involved, giving the same sound chip as in the MSX2 machines for the Atari ST. So they suggested there be MIDI ports in there, and the Atari ST took over in the music scene. So an interesting part of MSX history with this machine, and a wonderful addition to the collection. So absolute thank you so much to BIGZARG, who is the YouTuber who has donated this set of equipment. It will definitely be used and is pride and place in the centre of my retro computer setup, which I recently built some new shelves and did a bit of a refurb. So last part of this video will be a quick pan across the newly configured retro computer section. Right, so I'll leave you now. So thank you to all my subscribers. Also, thank you once again, BIGZARG. I said I'd say it many times. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.